Hey everybody, we're back. We're the Wrestling Boys. We're talking about pro wrestling, and last week we talked about who needed a heel turn, who needed a face turn. Today you came up with an interesting topic, and why don't you tell everybody what the topic is?
Misused wrestlers and tag teams.
Oh my God, and there are a whole bunch of them. It seems like, especially WWE has a knack for misusing their wrestlers. It's like
it's not WWE, it's Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Okay, well let's go with Vince McMahon and his.
No, because I'm pretty sure it's just Vince McMahon is the entire problem.
Really? Why do you think?
With wrestlers being misused, because I think he's like it's a playing favorites problem, like with Roman Reigns. I know, of course, everybody knows he's Vince McMahon's favorite.
Yeah, he's Vince's
but I'm pretty
boy.
sure that's why people are being misused, is because they're not one of his favorites, or he doesn't like them, or they've done something that he didn't like one time, and now it's ruined their entire career.
Right.
You know, so I believe it's not like the WWE, because saying the WWE, you're like including like Stephanie, Triple H, and Shane, and no, but it's mainly all Vince. That's the problem.
And I think that they've had a history of it, because, I mean, let's be honest, just a couple of years ago, I mean, Debbie Sandow was the Money in the Bank winner, and oh my gosh, she got so misused and so abused, and it was like, you know, they lost the chance of having a really good wrestler be, you know, their program and on their for their brand. And then of course last year, one of my favorite wrestlers, Austin Aries, comes in, and I was super excited to see him wrestle.
Yeah.
And then they just and all of a sudden, look, one day after he's done a couple pay-per-views and
he's left
and he's gone. And it's like, well, why did he go? Well, according to Austin Aries, it was like, well, we don't have anything else for you. Really? You don't have anything else for Austin Aries? Now what is Austin Aries called?
The belt collector. If you
collector.
look at him outside of WWE and like any promotion, he's has at least one of the belts from that promotion. Seriously, look.
And I think what's funny is the guys. And what about? Let's go even further. Neville.
Oh, it's such a sad story with Neville. I mean, I enjoyed Enzo Amore, but with Neville was a better wrestler. He was much more enjoyable as like wrestling goes.
He was entertaining.
But oh yeah.
And I was surprised. I was surprised when he was a heel. I was shocked when he was a heel, and yet he did it so well. And so I mean, when they brought, you know, of course they brought Enzo in, and that just ended up being just a horrible idea to try to make, you know. And then of course, you know, when Neville left, and then they have like, well, who do we go to now for our cruiserweight division to try to? Do we go to Rick Swann? Well, where's Rick Swann? He's somewhere in jail.
Oh yeah, he's now. I think he's
in jail, but
I think he's not in jail, or he's good now, but he's obviously not in WWE now. Like with Enzo Amore, he was proved innocent, but he's still not in WWE
because they don't want to. Even the thought of him coming back. And then let's look at one of the other guys, Brody Kalisto, and that really hasn't solidified that division either. And I think
even though he's really good, he's one of the ones that's being misused. He's a great wrestler, yet they're treating him very badly.
Very good. Like crap. Let's just be...
treat him like crap.
They're treating him like crap. It's the crap emoji on top of the crap emoji. Okay?
Yeah. No, the best example of crap emoji on top of crap emoji is Bo Dallas.
Oh my! So speaking of Bo Dallas, because we were just about to read, I was just about to ask you, who is the guy that you think is being misused big time?
Oh, Bo Dallas. Because if you go back, was it like 2015, where he was one of the longest reigning NXT champions of all time, and his gimmick, granted, if you first saw it, it might have looked incredibly stupid. He was a great wrestler, and now all of a sudden he's just a jobber 24/7.
No, let me ask you this. What do you think about, because now the B team, considered of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, has a championship match against the Deleters of World, which, I'm sorry, is the dumbest idea you can have, because these guys really haven't proven themselves. They've been jobbers for at least the last, I'll say 6 months.
Forever.
I'll say 6 months.
Yeah.
Ever since they were the Miz Tarajas, they were jobbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at least when they were in the Mistrage, they were like entertaining.
Right. Exactly. But what do you hope for Bo Dallas? What do you hope?
I hope he at least, I hope he gets that gimmick back, because I believe that gimmick might have been something that brought him the success. Because, I mean, if you just believe in him, maybe he might just get a chance. Maybe that's why he's not getting a chance. Is not enough people are believing.
Believing, okay.
Yeah,
I
I believe that might be the problem.
That might be the problem. Okay.
Or maybe it's just Vince that's not believing.
That's possibly it. I will tell you, one of my favorite wrestlers who hasn't been there in a while is R-Truth, and I loved R-Truth.
Oh, R-Truth was
he got,
so good.
He got misused so bad. He never really got a championship push
I think
other than tag team push.
I think the last time he got a singles title push was back in 2010 or something against John Cena for the U.S. title or something.
I think he was in a six-pack challenge for the Intercontinental Champion at one point, but he never got the individual accolades I thought he should have got. He was a really good wrestler, very entertaining.
Oh, no,
always had the
kidding.
crowd into it, and yet he was treated like the redheaded stepchild. That's basically what I I didn't want to say. Okay, so but along with R-Truth, I think the guy's being misused big time is Zack Ryder.
Who doesn't love Zack Ryder?
Now let's give a little bit of history about Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder, he came in early on as a tag team with Kurt Hawkins, by the way, who still is 0-200.
He's another one that's being misused horribly.
Why did they bring back Kurt Hawkins if they decided not to use him right? I mean, but
I have no clue.
But they bring in Zack Ryder. Hawkins goes off to do something. They keep Ryder on, and then they don't do anything with him. And all of a sudden they look up, and he has one of the biggest YouTube channels on the planet, and it's like,
Long Island Ice.
The Long Island, yeah, and they're like, we need to tap into this market. We need to figure out what to do with it. Let's bring him in and give him a championship push. And
even a freaking custom championship. Now that tells you you're popular.
Yeah.
Seriously, gave him a championship with his kind of face on it, but it wasn't his face, but it was his sunglasses and.
And then I think what they did with it, it was wise for him to, I think, team up with Mojo Rawley in NXT.
That was a very fun tag team to watch.
The Hype Bros was a very good tag team. They get a championship push, and then he gets hurt, unfortunately. And rather than, I think, and then of course, they had a decision. What do we do with Mojo Rawley? Well, the Ryder's on the shelf, and what happens is they decide to give Rawley a push. A singles push, a rather mediocre, successful push, nonetheless.
He's kind of fun to watch.
And then Ryder comes back, and rather than try to get them to be a cohesive team again, they decide, well, let's have Rawley turn heel and turn on Ryder, and now this will be great. And they did nothing with it. Even with the heel turn, they did nothing with it.
Yeah, and Mojo's really gone nowhere. So it's what was the point in doing that?
The
Hype Bros were entertaining. The Hype Bros were, as far as I know, they were popular. So why are you splitting them up just to have Mojo Rawley, the boring half of the tag team, or the worst wrestler of the tag team, making him go nowhere after that? What was the point in that?
And I liked Mojo's gimmick because it was kind of he kind of reminded me of that kid on ADHD on sugar. Just he'd go all over the place and he just knocked people, and it was entertaining to watch. Yeah. But it was Ryder who I think got him to where he was, and then they do that big heel turn. And they do nothing with it, and it's and it's horrible. It's almost like, what do you call it? Splitting up American Alpha for a storyline.
Oh, I hated when they did that. They were so popular. They were so good. They were crowd favorites. Then you split them up by putting them on different brands, only to put, like, Jason Jordan in the dumbest angle.
No pun intended.
Angle.
No pun intended.
Yeah, dumbest angle, or one of the dumbest angles in history. Like, seriously, you're ruining a fantastic tag team who almost everybody likes, just to, like, treat Chad Gable like a B wrestler and put Jason Jordan, try to treat him like an A wrestler, all because he's Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah, I never bought it. I saw where it was going.
Well, everybody knew it was fake.
I knew where it was going, and it just seemed like it was just getting... after about 3 weeks, it got real tiring to go through.
No kidding.
Now, let me ask you this. Now that they brought Gable over to Raw, do you think they'll team him up again?
Yes. If not, they're stupid. Yeah. Seriously. I loved American Alpha.
So,
for goodness sakes.
Before we hit the break, we're going to go to the female, who's not being the women's wrestler is not being given, not being treated right. And my pick is Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to do. They brought her in with Charlotte. It's kind of like a buddy thing. It worked for a while.
It was like her protege.
Type
thing.
I liked it for a while. I thought it was interesting, but after Charlotte left, it was like, okay, now what are they going to do with Dana Brooke? They tried some weird things with the club with Anderson and Gallows.
I don't remember that.
It was just a really weird promo. It was dumb. Yeah, it was so horrible. And then all of a sudden, it's like they gave Dana Brooke this interesting face turn out of nowhere, and they really haven't. Now that she's with Titus Worldwide, it looks interesting. They're doing something with her, but they haven't done anything with her on the wrestling side. It's always been, she goes up against another wrestler, and she's in it for 5 minutes, and then the next thing you know, bang, she's down. And
like, seriously, did you see her in that gauntlet match recently?
Oh, yeah.
Where she was eliminated in under a minute?
Yeah, it was horrible.
For goodness sakes. What's the point in putting her in if you're just going to have her eliminated in, like, that quickly? Seriously, what's the point?
And it was, but I don't know what they plan on doing with her. I think it's a travesty that they brought her in to be Charlotte's protege. If you want, it would almost be better for her to go to SmackDown to be reunited with Charlotte, or to have a feud with Charlotte. Something that would make it interesting for her to do. But it's just, I think I'm trying to sit there. This whole thing with Titus Worldwide, I don't know what they're trying to do with her as far as that. Granted, WWE has been lucky in the past where they've taken wrestlers that have been going over, i.e. the New Day. They had 3 guys that were really just not doing anything personally, and they gelled them together. Yeah. They did the same thing with Sheamus and Cesaro. We thought, these no way these guys are going to work out, and
here they are, at least 3 championships later. 3 championships later.
They've done it in the past with Kane and Daniel Bryan.
That was one of the funniest and really good tag
teams ever, but it's like, it just seems like the writers, I think you made a point, the writers have their favorites, and so I think that it's kind of sad to just kind of see Dana being shuffled off to the side and doing this whole statistics thing with worldwide.
It's stupid. Titus and Apollo are good on their own, but seriously, what's the point in having Dana Brooke there if she's not really going to be a wrestling part of it? Seriously.
Yeah. It looks like we're a little overdue for a break. When we come back from the break, we'll get your take on the women's wrestler that's not being treated right, and then we'll go into the tag team division. Okay. And we'll take it from there, okay? We're the Wrestling Boys. We'll be right back after this from our sponsors. Adios, Bell Bonds! Yeah!
Introducing the new California State Penitentiary Bologna Sandwich. Jail food sandwich.
your home is perfect. Until it's not. We understand that life has its changes. As your family grows, we're here to help grow with you. Because taking care of your family is important to you and important to us. Your story starts here with Cornerstone Mortgage.
At the time you were arrested, you were served with a DS-367 temporary driver's license. It's good for 30 days, but if you don't act within 10 days, at the end of those 30 days, your license will be suspended. It's important for your lawyer to contact the DMV for you. Set up a driver's license administrative hearing so that your license is not going to suspension. That's something here at Braemar Law we do for you.
Hey, we're back! We are the Wrestling Boys. I am Big Goose. This is my mini-me,
Logan.
And when we left off, we were talking about our topic today is wrestlers that are not being used well. They're being misused, being mistreated.
Huge topic.
Huge topic. And I'm sure you've all got. If you've got a wrestler you feel it's not being used right, drop us a comment and we'll, because we got some comments last week on our show. I'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Oh, big comments.
Big comments.
Really nice.
But we left
really
off that we're going to go with your women's wrestlers not being used well, and your pick is?
Bailey, because this Sasha and Bailey thing, it's kind of stupid. Like, can you just separate them already? Why are you keeping them together? Like, seriously, it's like they're becoming more like singles wrestlers than a tag team. Like, they seem to be, you know what I mean? Because they've more like been together in the past, and now they're like more branching out from that. And like, why haven't you just split them up? Why are you still keeping them together a little?
I wonder
and plus, another reason they're being or misusing Bailey is because they're keeping her as like the B-side of Sasha Banks because of they're keeping them together. And that's why she's not getting a title shot, and I feel really bad for her because she's better than Sasha Banks. Changed my mind.
On another topic of wrestlers that are being overused, Sasha Banks.
Yes, no doubt, no kidding. Agree 100%.
No offense with Sasha Banks, but she gets push after push after push, and it's getting just
boring. Really annoying.
It's getting, I'm like, and again, I think one of the reasons why they're doing this little rivalry between the two of them is because Sasha Banks has no rivalry over at Raw. I think if they're smart enough, they'll send one of them over to SmackDown and have a rivalry with one of the gals there. I think Carmella, after she loses the belt, because she will lose the belt in my opinion.
Hopefully, because she just doesn't feel like a legit champion right now.
Right now.
Seriously, she seems more like a comedy champion right now. Seriously, it's getting stupid. Seeing her come out every week, it's like a Mellabration. Mella is money. Like, can you be a serious champion and defend your belt? Like Seth Rollins is defending his belt every week. Now, can we see you do that instead of seeing a Mellabration every week? That's just stupid.
Yeah, I think she's being misused also big.
Yeah.
I think that they're trying to. First of all, it is just annoying. It's like I mean, I thought the idea and the concept when she won Money in the Bank was brilliant. I thought it was smart. I thought, let's have someone that you wouldn't think to win the first women's Money in the Bank.
James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
It was stupid. But anyway,
but it was a good thing they did that because that was such a poor decision.
But when she won it, I thought, okay, this is interesting. This will be interesting. And I thought and then of course when Charlotte beat Asuka, ended the streak, and then the next night Charlotte gets beat up by Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and then here comes Mella to cash in her briefcase, and I almost said suitcase because she'd held on to it for so freaking long. But it's just, I feel that they're trying to squeeze every last bit out of this before she drops the title to Asuka, because it's just her moonwalking across the freaking announcers table and just Mela his money and sitting there saying, I beat Charlotte Flair twice, which...
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares?
Let's see you defend it against somebody.
So...
Has she even defended it on TV since...
I don't think so. But you have to realize she did defend it against Charlotte Flair, who is somebody.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like... I kind of agree with you with Bayley. I think one of the things that I thought I saw happen when she had that title match with Alexa Bliss a while back, with the kendo stick on a pole.
A while back. That was a while
dumb.
Back. No kidding.
I'm sorry, a kendo stick on a pole. Then she gets the kendo stick and then refuses to use it. And I thought, where are they going with this? This is not...
Yeah,
and she's like, well, that's just not me. I can't do it. Well...
Then what's the point of having you in the match?
Exactly. What's the point of having you in the match if you're not going to use the damn stick?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the match, is to use the kendo stick. And here you are not using it?
Yeah, I know. I thought it was crazy.
Oh my God.
And I think that it's taken a while. One of the things that I think I heard her say in an interview that she had gone to Triple H trying to get a bigger push. Triple H was like, yeah, I'd love to, but you're talking to the wrong person. It's like, you need to go to the writers.
Yeah, okay. Triple H is running WWE, in my opinion, way better than Vince. Mm-hmm. Seriously, if you don't know what Triple H has done with WWE, go watch NXT.
Go watch NXT.
Better wrestling every week.
Yes, I agree with that, and we'll probably do a whole show on NXT.
Maybe next week.
No, well, we have Money in the Bank next week, so.
Oh yeah.
So we'll probably do. We'll do probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll talk about NXT.
Yeah.
Because NXT, I mean, I can see a lot of those people just absolutely burying some of the people that are on the program right now.
Oh, no kidding.
So let's go off to our favorite topic, which are tag teams that are not being used correctly. And trust me, we've got a list about as long as our arms.
Yeah, this is probably there's the most.
It's the most annoying.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is your pick for the tag team that is? By the way, we both agree on one tag team that's not being used well, and that is the Ascension.
I feel so bad for them. They're such a good tag team. They were treated so well down in NXT, but here they are in WWE main roster being treated like garbage.
Like jobbers.
Yeah. Like seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, at least like a week or two ago, they did have a pretty good match against Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, they might actually have a chance. But then they lose. Like, come on, give them a chance.
I think even if what I would hope is that they at least have a match where it's longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Because I know they can do it. They're great wrestlers.
I think one of the things that has happened with them is, of course, they did when they first came in up to the main roster. They said we're the greatest tag team ever. We're better than Demolition. We're better than
I'm pretty sure that might be what got them there.
Yeah, they got their butts whipped, and I think that they're still paying for all that they did. But I mean, here's my thing with the Ascension, and here's what I hope, because Paul Ellering was given the boot by Authors of Pain, who I haven't seen on Raw in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know there's a rumor out there. I think someone's hurt, or they're somewhere. But I
haven't heard that.
They gave Paul Ellering the boot, and what I'd like to see is Paul, after the Ascension, lose another match. I'd like to see Paul Ellering just point right at them and say, "Come with me," and basically
maybe do like a little Road Warriors, but not Road Warriors.
Yeah,
because since he managed the Road Warriors and the success of the Road Warriors, maybe they can get that success.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's Paul Ellering, just that.
Probably
because of the name.
The name. I mean, he's one of the greatest wrestling managers of all time.
Oh yeah, and pretty much just because of the Road Warriors.
And I think that dynamic, I think that storyline would really help. Feud, have a rivalry between the Authors of Pain and the Ascension.
Ooh, that sounds
That would be actually a pretty good rivalry. I could see that happening, where the Ascension maybe take it to the Authors of Pain and beat the snot out of them for, because I can see Paul Ellering just bringing them in there and just knocking them down.
Yeah. Because I know they've got the potential to do that. They definitely do.
So aside from the Ascension, which we both agree upon, give me another tag team before we
There's a lot of other ones, especially on Raw. There's like Breezango, The Revival, maybe even Titus Worldwide.
Slater and Rhino.
Oh, definitely. I like Slater.
Does it seem like all the good tag teams moved over to SmackDown?
It's kind of saddening.
The Bar, the Usos, the New Day. It's like they all went
got
over
like a stacked tag division over on SmackDown.
It-
And over on Raw, you pretty much got all the jobber tag teams.
The Jar tag
Seriously.
team. And aside from the Revival is a really good tag team.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised that they've been screwed around with, because here's another great tag team from NXT that has gone pretty much sideways since they've been, since they made the move up. I'd like to see them challenge for the belts. I think they'd make great tag champs.
Yeah.
I think they're the only, aside the Revival and of course McIntyre and Ziggler are the only two tag teams I see that could really take on the Deleters of World. I think it would be entertaining to see Rhino and Slater go for the tag belts, but
Be an interesting match.
it would be an interesting match.
But the dumbest thing was everybody knows like McIntyre and Ziggler are like the best tag team, though they might not be much of a tag team yet, but they're definitely like composed of like two of the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
But then you see them in that tag team battle royal, eliminated first. And might I say, they did not do that tag team battle royal correctly.
No, they did not.
They didn't do the rules well.
That was like one of the worst. And again, I mean, I'm high on both Axel and Dallas, but this is not the right angle. This is not this is not the right storyline for them. And I think it's really gonna hurt Raw in the end. And what I'm afraid of course, my biggest fear is that they'll beat the Deleter of Worlds.
Oh, that would be
Money in the
so
Bank,
bad.
and then
I swear to God.
And then everybody will be sitting there, and it will just do a total injustice to those belts, because
It'd just be like,
you just sit there.
hide your head in your hands.
Yeah,
Just be like, what are they thinking?
But I think that Raw tag team division kind of needs. I mean, they've again, Breezango, great team.
Oh yeah, composed of two fantastic wrestlers, Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Like Tyler Breeze is another one of the NXT call-ups that became treated like garbage. Seriously. And now all he's doing is like comedy stuff. And then there's Fandango, who in his debut match beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
And he has.
That's a way to make a first impression. But here you are, having him as a comedy gimmick.
Yeah.
Seriously? Why?
Yeah, I think that it's kind of sad, because one of the things I've been upset with Raw is the fact that it's become predictable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just this last week, what do we have? The match started with Rollins and Kevin Owens in a match.
Yeah.
And then, of course, what happens?
Then it's like
out comes
Jinder Mahal. Oh,
you know,
and then Roman Reigns comes out to make the save.
And then
bam, it becomes a tag team match.
Yeah, exactly.
And then something like that happens every single week.
Yeah.
Seriously, just keep track of it now. You'll notice it too.
And then you get a bad promo, i.e., Sami Zayn and
Bobby Lashley.
Which
that's
is,
just something you want to just turn the TV off to
I thought that
I don't want to watch that.
I sat there and I went, those are 10 minutes I'm never getting back.
Yeah.
Because it was just so horrible. Matter of fact, one of the comments we got was from last week's show was that she agreed with you. She says that Sami Zayn needs a face turn.
Oh yeah.
And that this whole thing with Bobby Lashley is just giving her a headache.
He's another one that's being misused.
Bobby Lashley, yeah.
No, I meant Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, yeah.
No, Bobby Lashley, I don't really care for him.
Well, no, Bobby
Sami Zayn, oh my goodness,
yeah.
is being
Well, no, my thing was that I think Bobby Lashley's not being used correctly, because they brought him back, and it's like they're not.
Why do you bring him up with all this hype? Like, oh my goodness, it's Bobby Lashley, and here you are having him doing all these dumb promos every single week. Like, we know he's a freaking awesome wrestler then why are you having him in these stupid promos?
Couldn't you just see Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre?
Oh, that'd be a great match.
He's still my heart.
Oh my goodness,
But
that'd be a fantastic
it's just
match.
But it's become. I mean, I think the best match of the night of last week's Raw was the Natalya Nia Jax match where Natalya got hurt.
I'm actually wondering whether that was like legit or whether that was fake, or it might have actually been real because Nia Jax's reaction,
her reaction,
like it was.
Her reaction
oh my goodness,
in the ring was like, "Oh my
real?
God, did I really hurt you?"
No, because it wasn't her fault. She just like hit the ropes.
And it could be that maybe just that Natalya just kind of stepped wrong and twisted her knee. And,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all they had.
I mean, I've done that. I don't know how many times. Felt a little pop, and you're like, ah! So, but I think that, but it looked legit for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, did she really get hurt? But it was like that was kind of like almost the best match of the night.
Yeah.
And it was like, and you're sitting there, you're slogging through 3 hours of Raw, and it's like you get a predictable match with a bad promo, with a decent match, with another bad promo. And I'm almost very like, you have a whole roster of people back there who would like to go just have a match.
Yes.
Why don't you just cut down one of these promos?
It's so stupid.
And just get them. I think that's one of the things that we like about NXT is because there's almost no promos. It's like it's all wrestling.
Goodness.
It's all wrestling, and it's great. It's great wrestling, but it's like. You're almost kind of beginning to think that something is not right in the state of WWE.
No.
Before we go, I know our producer's like, it's time for us to call out. One of our loyal viewers commented on last week's show, and she agreed with most of what we said. She says, yes, Reigns needs a heel turn, Bayley and Sasha need turns, Sami Zayn needs a turn. She said she even agreed with you about Finn Balor, which I was surprised, but she says not necessarily because of the demon, but because it would bring the club back.
Oh yeah.
And I think that would be.
But I mean, that wouldn't happen because the club's over on SmackDown. But I mean, at least you get the AJ Styles.
But you think about it.
I
think if you think about Finn Balor can get a couple of guys, Finn Balor can get a couple of guys make a new club like. I don't know, Curtis Axel.
Ooh, you get the frickin' Miz Taraj, and now it's like the Balor Taraj.
but
that'd be funny to see.
But I found the comment because I still cannot see Finn Balor as a heel. But I thought the comment was really good, and I really appreciated your comments because we're sitting there, because sometimes we just sit there and we talk to ourselves and we don't know if anybody agrees with us or not. But it's fun.
But I mean, that's the point of the show is we express what we think on this subject.
And you guys can write us back and say, yeah, we agree with you, or no, you're full of crap. But
exactly. That's the point of these types of shows.
But I love the fact that other people are starting to see the same things that we are. And
I just thought it was awesome. Like when I checked, we already got 55 views. Yeah. When I checked, I was like, oh my goodness.
That was in a day.
Seriously?
That was in a day. Yeah, it was in a day.
I was like, oh my goodness, I'm popular.
But anyway, as we are way over ticking back on time here. We will be back next week. In fact, we'll be doing a show a little early, and we're going to give you our picks next time on Money in the Bank and why I think.
Oh, what about NXT TakeOver?
Oh yeah, we will also talk NXT TakeOver. In fact, we might even do 2 shows. We'll do one on NXT TakeOver because we are huge NXT fans. We are just huge.
And takeovers are usually better than the
takeovers are usually really good. If you haven't seen an NXT TakeOver, you sit down with some popcorn and
definitely go watch NXT TakeOver New Orleans. If you don't watch any of the other ones, watch NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
NXT TakeOver New Orleans. What's the other one? The War Games.
Oh yes, definitely watch that.
And let me tell you something. If you cannot find it, go to Hulu.
Yes.
Hulu has all of
NXT.
All NXT matches. If you miss one, you can catch up on all those matches, but they're great to watch. And we'll even have a show pretty soon to tell people why we think NXT is better than
Oh, yeah.
Raw. But with that, we'll come back to a show, our takeover. We'll do a show, our Money in the Bank show, and I will tell you why I think Samoa Joe is Mr. Money in the Bank.
No.
We'll be back next week. Everybody have a good show. Have a good time. We are the Wrestling Boys from with Adios Belmonts here at the Bakersfield Music Hall of Fame and Kerncast.com. I am Big Goose. This is...
I am Logan.
And we will see you next week.
See you next time.